let's start here with sort of the bigger picture. And, I loved your email last night. You had one word to describe the game and the problem you saw.
I think for the team yesterday, this was not the messaging from Mike McDonald to his team, but I think it was as a coaching staff, as play callers, we're going to win this team because we're better than this group and we're going to play it safe. We are not going to be ultra aggressive. You're not going to see gimmicks. You're not going to see go for it. You're not going to see ultra aggressiveness. Over 60 minutes, fully believe we're the better team. And at home, with that crowd, and I think with a rather beat up San Francisco team, even week number 1, who loses George Kittle, and then as the game kind of played itself out, Salk, is you lose Eman Wari, as Kittle goes down, as Juan Jennings goes down, like you just kind of like, okay, we're gonna win this thing in the end, and we're not gonna hurt ourselves. Mm-hmm. We're not gonna hurt ourselves. Sam Darnold, you're gonna get the ball out. We're not gonna have sack fumbles. Right, we're not going to take deep play action shots. We are going to be fairly conservative offensively. Now, hear me out. Hear me very clearly. Safe does not mean soft. Safe does not mean hair on fire, because they played freaking hard. And that is why I was so despondent walking around the airport in freaking Vegas like I had just lost $100,000, right? I mean,
You're not the first person to walk around that airport despondent. That's for sure.
Yes. And, and I'm meeting new parents that were on the trip right after the game. I'm like, no, not now. My insides are hurting. I am so frustrated because they did so many things so well. And the plan was so there. And you have a lead at home with three minutes to go. And you got to make that team who you picked off twice and should have had a third time to end it. Gosh, that's what made me so frustrated, because the plan was pretty darn sound until it wasn't at the end.
Yeah, I think that's really well said. I think I understand what you mean when you say safe. I think it drives Lyle crazy, and we'll get into that a little bit later this week. But I think I agree with you. I mean, they really kind of played within their own box and tried to dictate the way they wanted the game to go. I mean, I just don't look. This one's hard for me. This game has been really hard for me to kind of figure out, because in some ways they played terribly. They allowed a ton of yards. The Niners offense kind of marched up and down the field on them at times. Obviously, they threw for 150 and ran for 85 more. So the Seahawks themselves didn't do a whole lot offensively. They didn't stop them very often defensively, and yet you get 2 interceptions. You bend but don't break. You force field goals. You block a field goal. You get a missed field goal. And it's hard to tell. Are those the things that do I look at those as, hey, that's a really dangerous game, right? Kind of expecting that those things are going to happen every week? Or was that just the way they played the game and it went exactly according to plan? I think you got to see more games before I really know the answer to that.
You do. And obviously this is the first game with this group, with this offense, with this quarterback, with this coordinator, this is the first real, they did it for one drive in the preseason? Yep. It was a beautiful drive, but one drive.
So I mean, that's another question, whether or not you need more time during preseason to prepare for the regular season if you're going to be entirely new. What did you think of the offense? Overall, what did you think of the offense?
Yeah, just very, very conservative. Very, very conservative. Right? It just, I thought they could have run it a little bit more. I think they respected Bosa, respected those linebackers, respected, that scheme quite a bit, and did not want to make the cardinal sin mistakes, did not want to take sacks. I think that was as big as anything. Get that ball out. We've talked about that. Sam Darnold's talked about that, right? Get that ball out. And I thought there were a bunch of times it was to the first progression, which was awesome. That's what play callers want to do. And there's JSN, and there's JSN, and there's JSN, and that was awesome. 3 of 10 on third down is never going to be good enough. Running for less than 100 yards, never going to be good enough. Ken Walker, 10 carries, 20 yards, that's never going to be good enough. Mm-hmm. So there's going to be a lot of that's never going to be good enough stuff to have to clean up. But, man, they put themselves at first and goal with a chance to win it, and it is going to just kick their teeth in when they watch it.
Yeah,
Abe
we'll
Lucas
dig
is
into
going to be so frustrated. I know we're going to get to those moments. I think even Sam's going to look at it and go, okay, I know my pre-snap read showed me and took me here, but post-snap, once Fred Warner turns his back and kind of drops, I've got Cooper Kupp for a walk-in. I mean, a walk-in. I can just shovel pass it to him on a little in route, and he walks in. And how much different would we all be feeling on this Monday morning? But woulda, shoulda, coulda. That is the NFL. You watch it all weekend long. You watch game time, missed field goals. You watch missed field goals. You watch almost every game comes down to the details late. And, man, we have gone 6 minutes and not mentioned Riq Woolen, who just individually was catastrophic. I just can't say it any other way. I mean, I saw John Schneider down on the sidelines, as he normally does. He comes down for the final 5 minutes of the game out of his booth. He probably can't sit still up there, right? He's on the sidelines. You take the lead. Again, 3 minutes to go. You've picked off Purdy. You've pressured him 57% of the time, the most of any game in his career. You've done so many things right. They're down their players. Like, go finish. Go finish. And the one thing that cannot happen, okay, you misplay a ball in the end zone, it sucks. That really is frustrating. You know what can't happen, Salk? Early on that drive, you can't be playing outside technique zone and get beat on a double move. You can't. It's elementary football. You can't. And you know exactly who Kyle Shanahan wanted to target as the weakest link in that moment, who was not going to have the focus to do the right thing. And he didn't. And gets beat for 45 yards over the top, and it set the whole dominoes, unfortunately, to go.
We'll debate that. I mean, obviously that was a big one, and the people seem to feel similarly. I threw a little poll out there early this morning, Brock, on most, yeah, you can go look at it, just the most, whether it's catastrophic or impactful or decisive play from that game. And, the decision to go to not go for it, but to kick the field goal on 4th down, the Riq Woolen plays, or the final fumble. I think those are the three. And, the voters kind of agree with you that those Riq plays were the single or two most important of the game. I guess just to finish on the big picture thing.
Yeah.
You use the word safe, and I think it's a good one. I think one other word, as I think more about this team, that we're going to be talking about a lot this year is balance. And we heard about it a lot with Pete, right? I want a balanced football team, and it was sort of that balance between run and pass.
Yeah.
I think for me, when I look at this offense this year, it's a balance between Stone Age and old school. Can you be old school without being Stone Age? And that's where that whole old school plan with new school principles and all that. I thought yesterday they maybe drifted at times a little too far into Stone Age and a little bit at times into sort of trying to get too cute. Like it did, just like the commitment was there and then it would fade a little bit. And every time they decided to throw a throwback screen or go 5 wide or whatever else they did, it just seemed like it totally backfired on them.
Yeah.
So
and
that balance, I think, is very key.
I think that is very true. I think that is very, very well said. And that balance of how much risk can we take? How much drop back can we do? Right. And, some of this is going to come out.
But is Sam Darnold a rookie quarterback? I mean, it's almost like they're treating him like you're going to watch J.J. McCarthy tonight.
Is that a rookie left guard?
Is
that a second-time starter at center? Is that still all young?
Yeah, I know.
Linemen? Is that a rookie tight end? Is that a second-year tight end? I
don't want to see them throw the ball all over the yard, but I think you got to, if the other team is going to say you're not going to run on us, don't you have to find whatever? We're going to debate throughout the morning, and certainly we're going to go through these 3 big plays and what happened on all 3 of them. That's coming up.